insight.
Thank you. What is up? Welcome to Just Offsides, the weekly MLS show where we take your comments and talk about them. My name is Louie.
And I'm Mikey.
And before we get into this week's episodes, let's jump into your comments from last week.
Our guy, Brad Jr. says, FC Cincinnati looking a lot better than a lot of us first thought they would be. You guys both have it wrong. Well, sorry. Vincent Kompany has something to say about it being a good captain. What?
I don't recall anything about Vincent Kompany.
Neither do I. Yeah, I don't know where you got Vincent Kompany from, but I don't know what you're talking about. We've both been saying that since he's been good. We were both hoping for them to have a good home opener. They did, so.
Ed Wildy says, maybe you should cut FCC a little more slack, and I'll cut you two some with your whopping 150 followers, and as of now, 112 views.
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he's trying to take a dig at us here.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, thank you for the comment. We appreciate it completely. I mean, we are trying to grow our YouTube channel. Like, yeah, we do have 150 subscribers.
So what?
I wish we had more.
You should subscribe.
You should subscribe, and maybe we can grow past that. And we also do cut FC Cincy some slack. The episode prior to last week's, we literally spoke for mad long about how amazing the support is, how awesome it is to see that kind of support at the home stadium, at the home opener. We talked extensively about them. But yeah, can't talk about all the teams every week. So we try, and we do really like FCC. I think they're doing amazing things.
Yeah, and I think last week was a little more of our frustration toward our hometown team, the REVS. So FCC, we think you're legit.
And Peter Putman says, really? You give every match at least 3 minutes of review and give REVS and FCC 30 seconds?
Lazy. Again, it's, it was more about the fact that we were so frustrated with the REVS being a joke that we just didn't want to talk about that. And the fact that we just talked about so much. Like we said, man, we can't cover every single game every single week. There's too many games, and this is like a 20-minute show. We record for like an hour-ish. Try to cut it down. So I'm sorry that we didn't cover FCC so much last week. We are definitely not looking down on FC Cincinnati. They are killing it this year. They have been, in my opinion, the most interesting storyline to follow in the MLS. Based on everything that's going around there. So definitely not looking down on them at all. It was, again, more fueled by our frustration with the REVS.
I wonder if FC Cincy fans are going to let us back in the next time.
Please, guys, forgive us. It was just one episode.
Come on, guys. It was just one little mistake. And y'all thought I forgot. Sebastian, man, where you at, bro? I thought you were going to be in the comments. Maybe you actually took my threat a little serious. I was just playing, bro. I'm playing. Come on, come back. Defend me. These FC Cincy guys are roasting me. Defend me, bro. Come back.
But on to this week's action. And what a fun weekend in the MLS we had. Bunch of hat tricks. A few more red cards. Exciting, exciting stuff.
A couple clean sheets as well in there.
And kicking us off this week, what a debut by Alejandro Pozuelo. Toronto FC's newest number 10 absolutely stole the show this weekend. This dude was everywhere during their game against New York City FC. He was out there providing assists. He had 2 goals himself. This dude looked electric. The goal that he gave to Jozy Altidore, Jozy Altidore didn't even have to move. Pozuelo literally dribbled the entire New York City defense and then just literally put it on a platter for Jozy Altidore to just bury it.
You could have buried that.
No, absolutely. I could have just been standing there and it would have gone in. It was such a good move by him. Jozy Altidore shortly thereafter gets brought down in the box, and instead of taking it himself, Pozuelo steps up and, cool as a cucumber, just buries a cheeky Panenka penalty to give Toronto the 2-0 lead. And honestly, you must be feeling yourself at this point, because for you to step up and in your first game in the MLS, it's about to be your first goal, and you do a Panenka? Like, that's cheeky.
That is cheeky. But that's not even his cheekiest goal yet.
Absolutely, because Pozuelo then proceeded to chip the ever-living shit out of Sean Johnson, which I'm pretty sure Sean Johnson is still backpedaling to this day. This was a masterclass performance by Pozuelo. Dude was on one this weekend, and he was just phenomenal.
He's got everyone in Toronto saying Giovinco. Who?
Honestly, I mean, like, he had some pretty big shoes to fill with that number 10 shirt for Toronto, and he stepped up big and just looked fantastic.
Definitely a signing that I believe they needed after losing one of their key players, and boy, did he fill the shoes and then some.
Overall, Toronto looked super dominant during this game. New York City didn't really look that threatening at all, really. And it's kind of interesting because Toronto seems like they're back to their best. They've been quietly putting up results over the beginning of this season, and they look like the team that maybe they should have been last year. Instead, they were suffering over a championship hangover last year, but it seems like they picked up 2019 where they left off 2017.
Exactly. Better late than never.
Apparently. So let us know, guys. Is this Toronto FC team for real? Are they actually back? Do they look like they're back to their best? How's this Pozuelo guy gonna do? Can he fill the shoes of Giovinco?
Sporting Kansas City hosted the Montreal Impact, and boy, they were not impactful this weekend because it was a party in SKC this week.
No, honestly, it looked like everybody was just going to get to score this game. It seemed like they were just throwing goals out there like it was Oprah. It was like, you get a goal, and you get a goal, and you get a goal, and you get a goal.
Yeah, but Krizstian Nemeth was like, my goal, my goal, my goal, my goal. Give me all those.
Yeah, Nemeth scored his first MLS hat-trick. Johnny Russell added 2. And even Gianluca Buzio, 16-year-old kid for SKC, got on the score sheet. So, honestly, it was a complete dismantling of Montreal. This is the first time SKC had ever scored 7 goals in a game in their history. And Jerson Fernandez was providing assists left and right. Very, very active the whole game. I mean, overall, phenomenal performance by everybody on SKC. But not to take anything away from SKC, Montreal just looked horrible. They were giving away goals at one point. Honestly, 2 of the goals were just gifts from Montreal's defense.
They were buy one, get one free.
So while SKC definitely showed their class, Montreal didn't do themselves any favors by just being bad. Montreal did get one back late, but honestly, it didn't matter. It was within the last couple seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. A nice little consolation gift from them. That's a little, like, thanks for coming. Here you guys go. There's one for you guys so that the scoreline didn't look that bad. So, sporting fans, what do you guys think your ceiling is? Do you guys believe you guys have the chance to compete for the MLS Cup? How far do you guys think you guys can take it?
And also, New England Revolution fans, wouldn't it be nice if we could sign players like this Nemeth guy who had scored a hat-trick there? Like, wouldn't that be cool if we could get some impactful forwards like that could score goals? Yeah, let us know what you think. But moving along, another week in the MLS and another amazing display from Carlos Vela. Vela scored his first hat-trick in LAFC colors, and boy was it a doozy. First, he capitalized on possibly the worst mistake a goalkeeper could make. Dude runs out of his box and whiffs the clearance, and Vela's just right behind him, just latch onto that ball and just lightly tap it home. But my favorite part is, I don't know if you saw this, but he's basically walking the ball into the goal. You know, like when you're playing like 5-a-side and like you're being really cheeky and no one's defending you, so you just want to walk the ball into the goal. He did that, and the Quakes defender was so pissed that he tried to slide tackle him into the goal, but like he missed by like this much, and I was like, yo, that is so fucked up.
Imagine if he had gotten a red off of that play.
You get scored.
Get scored on and you give up a red? Dummy. Come on, man.
For real. And then shortly thereafter, he scored his second after he made a phenomenal run behind the defender, and Diego Rossi provided a beautiful low cross to him where Vela was able to just tap it in. And by far his best goal of the night was his third one. He received the ball at the top of the box. All he did was touch it once, open up space, and send an absolute curler into the top corner of the goal. Upper 90, top cheddar, top drawer, na gaveta. I don't know how any other ways to say it, but this dude just put it in the most perfect spot.
Quakes keeper didn't even have a chance.
There was nothing he could have done to have stopped that ball from going in. And honestly, it just felt like it was Vela's night, and he had to score, and it was phenomenal.
Well, you said the keeper had no chance. Well, he had no chance the whole entire game, clearly.
Well, neither did San Jose, if we're being perfectly honest.
And speaking of San Jose, guess who did not score and is still in the hunt? Chris Wondolowski. Maybe next week, Chris. Maybe on the next season of Dragon Ball Z.
But let us know, guys. Is Carlos Vela the current front-runner for MLS MVP?
Back again after an impressive win at Red Bull Arena. This week, Orlando City hosted DC United, where our old teammates Wayne Rooney and Nani played each other for the first time.
Wayne Rooney stole the show. Yeah, he was playing against his former teammate, 2 of my favorite players growing up, Wayne Rooney and Nani. And Wayne Rooney was looking really good. He provided a beautiful delivery from a free kick to lead to the first goal, and then before getting another free kick pretty close to where the corner flag was, and scoring himself from an impossible angle. Basically, Wayne Rooney's picking up the ball towards the left wing there. Dom Dwyer comes out, tries to slide tackle him. super dangerous slide tackle. Wayne Rooney kind of gets out of the way and Dom Dwyer doesn't make any contact, but ref still calls it a foul. But everyone's thinking like, okay, cool. It's basically like a corner because we're only like a couple feet in front of the corner flag. There's no way Rooney is going to go for goal.
Yeah,
right?
He's just going to cross it in. It'll be whatever. We'll figure it out when it gets crossed in.
And then Wayne Rooney basically points to show where he wants people to go and then just hits it right at the goal. It was beautiful. It kept curving in, went right behind the keeper and into the back of the net. It was a phenomenal delivery, and I feel like Wayne Rooney can do no wrong in a DC United jersey lately.
I feel like he was just meant to play at DC United his whole life.
Stop that. He is the leading goal scorer for England and Manchester United. He was meant to do those things. He's just doing well here in DC. Sorry, got a little angry. I apologize. He's one of my favorite players.
You see what I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
But Orlando would pull one back through a Dom Dwyer header, but it wasn't enough to do anything. And DC took away the 3 points once again, leading them to the top of the Eastern Conference standings and a near-perfect start to their season. The only blemish being the 1 goal they let up to Dom Dwyer's head. But moving along, Portland Timbers' nightmare start to this MLS season continued as they faced the LA Galaxy, the one-man show that is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. This was Zlatan's first game back in the LA Galaxy lineup, and he did not disappoint. This dude basically beat the Timbers by himself.
He grabbed his teammates, put them on his back, and he was like, come on, guys, let's go. We're going for a trip.
He earned both of the penalties that he then went and scored both of those penalties. And it seemed like it was Panenka week in the MLS because Zlatan, not to be outdone by Pozuelo, decided to step up and absolutely humiliate Attinella. Attinella had no chance at that, and Zlatan was just super cheeky, like in that typical Zlatan way. And it was good. It got Galaxy 3 points. They look good again. This was building off of a couple of good results for them without Zlatan. And so it looks good.
It does look good. It looks like finally they're hoping to move forward and start to challenge. Maybe make a playoff spot if they can continue it. Who knows? What do you guys think? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
But moving along to our next game, and what a chippy back and forth game this one was. Real Salt Lake hosted FC Dallas. Real Salt Lake were hoping for a better fortune as they came back home in front of their home crowd, and that lasted all of 44 seconds as FC Dallas latched on and scored a goal pretty much at the beginning of the game to really put a dent in RSL's plans. And it just kept getting worse for them from there. Krylock got fouled and then reacted very angrily by trying to headbutt Gruzo, I believe is how you say his name, and he just came up and tried to headbutt the guy and then gets sent off 16 minutes into the game. But Krylock's red card made it 4 red cards in 5 games for RSL. So my question is, what is in the water that your players are drinking over there that they got all aggressive and feisty before these games? Because 4 red cards in 5 games, holy shit, just keep a lid on it.
Is the coach not finding players? What is going on?
Or is your pregame talk going, go out there and fucking murder them?
If we can't beat them by scoring goals, we'll beat them by killing all of them. So apparently that's what they want to do.
RSL supporters, what is going on? Does your team need to relax a little bit, breathe, do some yoga?
Maybe take a Xanax. We don't condone it, but you know what I mean? Maybe it might help.
But 10 men RSL were able to pull one back and level the score through Savarino, which didn't really last for that long before the 19-year-old from FC Dallas, Paul McCall, scored 2 goals to make for a magical afternoon for this young lad. But RSL weren't done. They clawed back once again and scored and made the score 3-2 before FC Dallas scored at the dying moments of the game to solidify a 4-2 win for FC Dallas over RSL.
And now FC Dallas has their 3rd win in 4 games, and they hope to continue that strong start as they keep going. Goddamn Texas.
Yeehaw!
Everything bigger in Texas.
FC Cincinnati were back home hosting the Philadelphia Union in front of that amazing home crowd. But unfortunately for this week, that home crowd was not enough to get their team that win. Philadelphia, coming off of a win from last weekend, came into Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati and ended up the 2-0 victors. Marco Fabian got the first goal, and David Accam seemed like he wasn't satisfied enough with last week's output, and he had to score another one this week.
Good for him, man. Good for him. I'm happy to see it. Definitely a player who's been through a lot recently. I hope he can continue his good run of form and hopefully push Philly into a potential playoff spot. You know what, Louis? I think that all FC Cincy fans are mad at us.
They're just channeling their anger about this game.
They're just taking it out on us.
It's not our fault they lost. We try to cover you guys very profoundly. We like you guys. Don't take it out on us. We're just the messengers.
Exactly. Who knows? We might have been in the marching band first game. Doing our thing. And moving along to the other team in Ohio, the Columbus Crew hosted Atlanta United, and Atlanta hoped to break the...
Bruh. Atlanta were bad, and they should feel bad, because they lost the game. I mean, I will say, the weather really didn't help this game at all. There was a rain delay, and then by the end of the game, it didn't even look like the players were running. It looked like they were swimming. The pitch was completely flooded. The ball wasn't even really moving that much, but it wasn't a problem for Columbus. Columbus were able to score. They were able to play their game, and Atlanta just couldn't seem to get it together. What has been astounding is that this isn't a slow start where they lost a couple of games. We are now in week 5 of MLS, and they haven't done anything. Yeah. They haven't been able to get a single win, really, and it's just like, this is not good. Under Frank de Boer, do they have literally one win? Like, I'm pretty sure they've only won 1 game. I could be wrong, but either way, like, that's not... You guys were the best team in MLS last year by far. Like, you shouldn't be this bad.
And now, we asked in one of the earlier episodes if it was time for Frank to go, and now, Atlanta United fans, do you guys think it's that time now? It is 5 weeks.
I feel like 5 weeks is enough of a sample size, but maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like if it were any other situation, it might be different. But the fact that, you know, he had this ready-made squad essentially, and it wasn't like he was trying to rebuild the team. It wasn't anything like that. It's the fact that compared to what they did last year, this is really, really bad.
Exactly. But you got to think about it too, Louis. They lost 2 of their key pieces this year, with Miguel Almiron leaving to Newcastle and Tata Martino leaving as well.
And for the last game that we're going to cover this week, the New England Revolution got a win. Surprisingly. All it took was Brad Friedel to question their manhood and their competitiveness to have them actually win a game.
He literally kidnapped all their kids. It was like, listen, boys, until we get a win, y'all not getting your kids back. And they're like, let's get our kids back.
I don't know where you got that from, but okay. Also, super happy to see Cody Cropper get his first start in the MLS in over a year and a half. I had the pleasure of meeting this dude a little bit over a year ago. Super chill guy. Talked to him about life in England. He used to play at Southampton. Got to know all those dudes there. Really phenomenal dude. So I'm happy to see him in goal for the Revs. Did pretty well. Made some really good saves and kind of kept the Revs in it. It was kind of a tight affair. There was no one at the stadium. They were all up in Boston with us watching Premier League games.
At Fenway, so...
Anyway, Revs got their first win of the season. They are above Atlanta United. So, yeah,
we're already doing better.
That's kind of it. But there you have it, guys. Another week in the books. Make sure you're leaving those comments down below so that we feature you next week.
And be sure to give us that like. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on all of our social media at Trebl Soccer.
And we'll catch you next week.